he's coming. He's gonna be late. Yeah.
I guess we're ready.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm going to call this regular meeting to order. Item number 1, roll call. Mr. Morales, please.
President Tony Barco,
Here.
Vice President Robert Smallsry, Trustee Juan Ibarra,
Here.
Trustee Jason Peña,
Here.
Trustee Rolando Lozano,
Here.
Trustee Fernando Torres,
Here.
Secretary Chris Morales, here. Board President, we have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Now we need Mr. Lozano, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Peña, can you lead us in the invocation, please?
Ms. Rocha, can you lead us? Pass it to you, I don't want to mess it up.
Heavenly Father, tonight we're gathered here just to give you all the praise and glory for the blessings that you continue to bless upon us in our district. Heavenly Father, tonight we're so proud and honored because we are recognizing some great accomplishments on our teachers of the year, librarians, our powerlifting. We just ask that you bless them, Heavenly Father, and their families that are here today and at home as well. And Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless our board members, our superintendent, Mr. Cavazos, as they lead our district in bringing the very best to Edcouch-Elsa ISD. We ask that you bless every person that is here today, and we say all of this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Ms. Rocha.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a good save.
I would have messed it up.
Item number 3, comments from the public. Do we have anybody? Thank you. Item 4, recognitions. A, our mariachi.
Mr. President, Mariachi is not going to be here tonight. We're asking to defer that till next month. They were asked to perform at a veterans ceremony in McAllen for tonight, so
Okay.
we gave them permission to do that.
Okay, thank you. Item B, our powerlifting thing.
State champs.
All right, Mr. President, board members, Mr. Superintendent, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce to you a very special young group of men who did a great job this year. They dominated all season long, but without the coaches, of course, they wouldn't have done what they set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year, which was win a state title. At this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce their head coach, Martin Velasco. In the 181-pound cast, we had Adam Wallach. And the 242-pound weight class, Cody Alvarado. And the 270-pound weight class, we had Manuel Rodriguez. And in the 275-pound weight class, we have George Soto. In the 148-pound weight class, we have Ricky Ortiz. And the 165-pound weight class, we have Nate Vallejo. Our manager could have done without him because this young man helped me and the rest of the coaches wrap a lot of knees. And he did a great job, an excellent job. And he was sweating and almost pulled a bicep like one of the coaches did, wrapping knees. We have Derek Cabrera. class competitor. We went ahead and dominated the 6As and the 5As. There was over 120 schools at state. These young men are your 2018 state champions.
Cody Alvarado, the 242, he was our regional champion and state runner-up. Cody Alvarado. Adam Riley, 165, regional qualifier and state qualifier. Rodriguez, regional qualifier and state qualifier. Regional qualifier and state qualifier. Regional qualifier and state champion. Here, George Soto, regional champion and state champion. George Soto.
Just so the board knows, we want to go ahead and thank you, men. It's a very expensive sport. We go ahead and equip these young men, take care of them, provide them with the best equipment available. I know that, again, we want to thank you for always supporting us, for giving us everything that we need, and never saying no to these kids and to every single one of our athletic programs. So, board members, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And just so we know, we will repeat next year.
Guys, you guys should be proud of yourselves. You guys just set the mark for Edcouch-Elsa. You're the first state championship team we have in the history of Edcouch-Elsa. And you just set the trend, which is awesome because now, you know, forever you will be in the history of Edcouch-Elsa in a good way. So, very proud of you guys. All of us, we walk up with our heads up high when we go to conferences because they know who Edcouch-Elsa is. Anywhere, even at the nation conferences. So, thanks. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Our amazing state, what if you claim that? The next group of people that we're going to honor tonight is this month was Librarian Week, and we're very proud to have some outstanding people at the campuses that they open the world to our students. Reading takes you places. If you've never been to Hawaii, Disney World, we tell our kids, open up a book and you will find out everything you want to do about the world, or who you want to be, what career, research it. So this is their month, and we're very proud that they're all here tonight. So we're going to honor them, and we're going to have each of the board members get one of this amount. So and we also want to thank their family that are here, and also the boys and anybody here from their parents. We're very proud. It's a family affair here at Edcouch-Elsa. And we can start.
Real quick, just want to also let y'all know that not only state championship, you will be receiving state championship ratings as well as. service and contributions to Edcouch-Elsa ISD in honor of National Library Week 2018.
Let's get appreciation presented to Anna Osuna for your service and contributions to Edcouch-Elsa ISD National.
Certificate of appreciation presented to Isabel Vera for your service and contributions to Edcouch-Elsa ISD in honor of National Library Week 2018.
The following certificate goes out to Ioana Obregón, and this is for your services and contributions to the Edcouch-Elsa ISD in honor of National Library.
This certificate of appreciation is presented to Salvador Garza for your service and contributions to Edcouch-Elsa ISD in honor of National Library Week 2018.
I get the certificate. There's a card there.
Certificate of appreciation presented to Cruz Mendez for your service and contributions to Edcouch-Elsa ISD in honor of National Library.
And don't they look beautiful with their shirts?
And last but not least, this certificate of appreciation presented to Melinda Aranix for your service and contributions to Edcouch-Elsa ISD.
Ready? Everybody ready? 1, 2, and 1, 2, and
We're very proud and honored tonight as we salute our Teachers of the Year. It's such an honor because to be named the Teacher of the Year is symbolic of the campus that you represent, and up here we have beautiful. This is the first time ever that we have all girls, you know. Girls. touched the life of so many people. I'm just going to say very briefly about the impact of a teacher. There is a book that's called The 7 People You Made in Heaven, and it was about a carnival worker, and he thought he had no value in life. So when he dies and the pearly gates open, St. Peter tells him, when you walk in, you're going to be greeted by all the people you made a difference in while you were alive. And he had a pastor look and he said, I only made a difference in that one. But there's more that I didn't know them. How can I have made a difference? And he said, because you made a difference in the first one, the generations that followed, you made a difference. So as a teacher, you impact so many lives of future generations. So feel very proud to be honored as a Teacher of the Year for your campus. And then there's 2 of you that are going to go out and represent our school district as the elementary and the secondary Teacher of the Year. The name Teacher of the Year, the campus of the greatest is Edcouch-Elsa. So we have the very best, and you are the very best. So we're going to start by honoring the Teacher of the Year.
Okay, I'll say this real quick. I know Teacher of the Year is a great thing because it's all the accomplishments you put together throughout the year. And I want to say hit a little bit closer home to my wife, who's like the Teacher of the Year also. But she's a Mercedes. Well, I saw the hard work she put in and the 8 hours you're coming in late. So I know that all the individuals who have ever earned the Teacher of the Year, that they really earned it. Because I know it takes a lot of work into it. And the one I want to present here is one that I know she really goes above and beyond for her campus, because last October she came up to me and she wanted to put together a drug awareness program, October Drug Awareness Month, and I kind of led her in the right direction to bring in Rock and Roll James Jardia, and it was a successful event. I know he posted it on Facebook and it got really big, and I know the kids really liked it, and it shows to me that she really cares. And that says a lot. So with that, and of course she does other things. I know she's in Edcouch and everything else she does. But in recognition for your good contribution as an outstanding classroom teacher, this is presented to Miraida Cerda from the Edcouch-Elsa High School Teacher of the Year.
I just want to say that the picture that you guys took is awesome. This is presented to Maria Main, Junior High Teacher of the Year 2017-2018, in recognition for your contribution as an outstanding classroom teacher.
All right, and presented for the LBJ Teacher of the Year is Zoraida Alvarado. That's why I wanted to ask you.
This is for the Teacher of the Year 2017-2018, University of Ladies Elementary, Janice Perez.
Elementary Teacher of the Year, Ocio Torres.
elementary childhood, early childhood, teacher of the year, Clarissa Garcia.
Elementary Teacher of the Year, Erica Castillo.
And we're going to announce the elementary teacher of the year for Edcouch-Elsa and the secondary teacher of the year for Edcouch-Elsa ISD in the district for elementary and secondary.
Yeah, we're setting it up.
Elementary.
All right. This goes to the Teacher of the Year, 2017-2018. Finally, is a recognition for your contribution as an outstanding classroom teacher. Representing the elementary, this year goes to Rocio Torres.
It's your second Teacher of the Year, but first district-wide, right, or no?
The Edcouch-Elsa ISD Secondary Teacher of the Year, 2017-2018, Maria Valli.
And we want to honor, if there are any relatives, parents, brothers, sisters, if you can stand up that are here to honor your daughter, your son, your daughters. Tenemos la familia. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for letting the district your loved ones. Yeah. No, that's absolutely.
Right. Ready? 1, 2, and come on. Ready? 1, 2, and got it.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, I remember when she was little, just come to the store.
Yeah, it was right there. Don't put this there.
That's great. Come by the store all the time, come by and buy stuff.
Now they make the filter.
Whatever.
And it clears out.
Good job, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a secretary.
But isn't that what it's called in the abbreviation?
Texas Education Support Staff Association.
But we send the same people. But we send the same people every year.
Out of that office, I can. It's up to you.
They go every year.
I'll talk to someone.
I'm sure they hear the same thing over and over. I don't want to send somebody to get something. You know? I need to. There's one in regional.
Okay, ready? Item number 5, student enrollment superintendent's report.
What's up, Chris?
Mr. Cavazos?
Sorry, go ahead.
Student enrollment?
The student enrollment report, gentlemen, is there in your folder.
Okay.
From yesterday, the student enrollment was at minus 88 for the year when compared to last year at the same time. We're still talking to the principals, and we're also working on attendance, trying to get our students to come in every day. But right now, the effort is being made to recruit and try to keep our students enrolled in Edcouch-Elsa ISD.
If I can just say something right quick, on May 5th, we will be having our first truancy conference workshop for the staff. I'll be spearheading it with the precinct and the juvenile DA. And we're going to come up with ways on having the truancy. I know that since 2015, the truancy has changed, but I think we figured out a way where it could be a lot easier for you guys to send kids to my court, so we can start, implementing this. And by doing this, I can almost guarantee you people will start coming to school more often. Parents will start sending kids to school more often. May 5th.
Thank you, Mr. Peña. Any questions or comments on our student enrollment?
I know that we're having registration, online registration for several of the campuses. I know the high school and the junior high. Is it just junior high? How does the turnout look so far? Are we getting a pretty good turnout, or is it? You're going to be presenting on that?
Yeah, she wanted to talk about that during her presentation today.
All right, it's because I'm looking at our 8th grade. We got -10, and then it goes 7th grade -15. So I'm looking to see if our numbers were going to be affected more next year. Trying to get a base on what we're going to be looking at next year as well. So, all right, we'll wait until. Okay.
Okay.
No more questions.
Item number 6, consent agenda items. Are there any questions or additions that we have to add to this?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions.
Okay.
I'd like to pull out the Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. Ms. Gonzalez, Mary?
Yes.
Can you give me a little bit about this here?
That's for our Right Source English books. When they first ordered them, they did not order one for every student. So this year, I got a count as to how many were still missing, and that's what I'm going to order.
Okay, so it's practically $35,000. Now, is this something that's going to repeat every year, Mary, or is this something that,
Not for this textbook,
not for this textbook?
no.
What's the life expectancy of this textbook? What should we expect? Every 3 years, 2 years, 3 years?
Five
We're
years.
gonna adopt new ones in 2019.
1920.
Okay. All right. The other question I've got is, looking over some of the paperwork, every time we're going to hire consultants for contracts to come and do things, I see that, we had a couple of them, but they're signed only by the person that's requesting it, the director or the administrator, but it's not signed by the business manager or the superintendent. We got to make sure that,
Usually, those are signed after the board files them.
Okay.
And they come back to the business office for the final.
Then can we update the
Is
form?
legal given the opportunity to review contracts?
They should be.
Yes, they do.
And they check off on them?
Now, there's nothing here that says they did do. Maybe update the form to include maybe review by
I think-
legal
Are
or,
we doing it only for contracts over a certain amount?
The contracts that are over 25,000, those come straight to the board.
So it's this, would be under this one, right?
Right. Well, that would be less.
But maybe, to Mr. Ibarra's point, maybe have a form where it's reviewed by legal.
Okay.
You know, just a check mark where they sign, you know, it's been reviewed by legal and all things are, because I was looking at some of the notations here and it's like, somebody wrote in there, please don't exceed, you know, $5,000 on this one. There should be an area with a special note that says, you know, or limit or something like that that says, you know, not to exceed, just to make sure there's no confusion on it.
Well, I think every contract or agreement should be reviewed by legal counsel, so
And
should be.
on this one, consulting services, what would we be consulting on? I know it says science materials and academic activities for the science camp. Are you bringing in somebody to show you how to run that?
Yes, that's a $1,000 contract for a science specialist. There'll be an 8th grade science camp at the one junior high school.
They come in, they help us organize the camp for the kids. They work with the teachers and they prepare for the camp.
And during what dates is this? Is this camp?
It's listed there.
On May the 8th.
Yeah, it's back in the bag.
Okay.
Yeah, my other question would be is on a contract, let's see if I say it right. When we put not to exceed 5,000, it never fails. It gets to 5,000. There should be something that, you know, an estimated cost on their side. You know what, this is what we're expecting out of them. Because every time we put a limit, it's funny how they reach that limit. They find a way to reach that limit. So let's see what we can do to improve that, because I guarantee you that if you put $500,000, they'll find a way to get to $500,000. So let's just maybe go back and look at these forms and modify them a little bit.
I have another question on, I guess that's item K with Mr. Cavazos. Texas Valley Communities Founding regarding 21st Century Learning Community Grant. Is that the one we had talked about?
Yes. The district, we're trying to work on completing the grant. We asked Texas Valley Communities Foundation to support the PASOS program as part of the grant. The PASOS is a parent support academy. We ask the parents to come in. They go through several classes. I think it's 10 different classes, and the parents graduate from the program. But it would be part of the 21st Century Learning Grant. That partnership would benefit the district and would help support the grant getting funded.
Hopefully we do.
Yeah, the other one I was going to have it look at, or no, that's number, I'm sorry, that's another number. We'll get to that in a minute. As far as consent, I have no other questions.
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Make a motion to approve all consent agenda items as presented.
Sir, motion has been made and second to approve all the consent agenda items. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item 8, discussion and presentations. Item 8, presentation delinquent tax collections. Presenter Lineberger, Goggin.
Wait, I think we skipped one. Number 7.
That number 7 is actually part of consent.
Yes.
It was part of consent.
But could it? I don't think it
Yeah,
can though.
it
It's
should be
number
letter
7.
S.
I'd vote on it separately.
What was that?
You called item number 6.
Yeah, called number 6, now it goes, it has to go to number 7.
You're correct. Item 7, discussion and possible action to approve the purchase of a video scoreboard for the Edcouch-Elsa Gymnasium. Mr. Navarro.
So moved, Mr. President.
Okay.
This is the same one we brought up, we
Yeah,
already voted on this one, right?
We've already voted on this particular
Yeah,
item.
there was a little change.
Okay. Well, there's a motion and a second.
Okay, so everything's in order?
Yeah, when you called the consent items, I called item number 6, and this wasn't in
Okay.
that list.
All right, so number 7, there's, okay, to vote on it.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, motion has been made and second to approve item 7. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item 8, discussion and presentation items. 8, presentation on delinquent tax collections.
Yes. Mr. President, we have Mrs. Kelly Salazar from Linebarger. She's going to do the presentation for us tonight. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Superintendent. Good evening, President Vodko and members of the board. Kelly Salazar on behalf of Linebarger to present your delinquent tax collection report from the period of September 1st, 2017 through February 28th, 2018. Our delinquent tax collection program on behalf of the district focuses on 2 basic premises. The first is to work with the delinquent taxpayer to pay the delinquent amounts owed, and secondly, use the tool of litigation only as a final option to collect. During this reporting period, we completed 2 demand mailings, mailing 940 statements to delinquent taxpayers. We also had over 1,200 phone calls over 251 taxpayer walk-ins, and that's to any one of our 4 locations within the county, including one right down the street on Edinburgh Avenue in Elsa. We also had 304 property inspections. That's knocking on doors of delinquent taxpayers in the district and educating them, informing them, and trying to get them to initiate some kind of payment arrangements. Regarding litigation, we have filed 23 lawsuits or interventions, disposed of 26 lawsuits, and pending litigation as of March 2018, we have 197 lawsuits in litigation representing a little over $1 million in base, penalty, and interest owed to this district. Our office regularly conducts tax sales and resales on judgments where there's little to no effort to pay by the delinquent taxpayer. We completed 4 tax sales during this reporting period, placing 9 properties for sale. 4 of those sold. 1 of them was pulled prior to sale due to a payment in full. We also completed 1 tax resale. Resales are sales that are conducted on properties that have been put up for sale and there hasn't been a bid received. So we conduct a resale. 3 properties were sold, God bless you, resulting in over $5,300 to the district. Regarding your collection highlights, we have collected over $181,000 in base tax for the district, over $117,000 in penalty and interest, for total collections this reporting period of over $298,000 for Edcouch-Elsa ISD. Looking towards the future, we'll continue to monitor all accounts, identify those that are in need to be placed in litigation, and also monitor and pursue active litigation on those that are currently in lawsuit. We'll also continue to monitor your bankruptcy accounts and schedule any properties for sale on an as-needed basis. But that concludes my delinquent tax collection report for this reporting period. Thank you for the opportunity, and I welcome any questions that you might have.
Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Item B, update on JRG RCR Pavilion AC Improvements Project. Mr. Cavazos.
Yes, actually, the next 2 items, item B and C, I'd asked Mr. Roberto Salinas to come in and to give us a brief report, an update on the JRG and the RCR Pavilion AC project, and on the Truan parking lot improvement project as well. So he'll cover the next 2 items.
Okay. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, Mr. President and members of the board, Superintendent. I'm here to present, as Superintendent mentioned, the RCR and Early Childhood Pavilion HVAC improvements for the contractor's installation. The project right now is at approximately 85% completion. All the 8 condensers have been installed in the 8 AC units, 4 per pavilion. And right now the contractor is working on the roof and perimeter wall insulation of those 2 buildings. And we're coordinating with AEP as we speak on the main service location and an easement for the Early Childhood Pavilion. Project completion will take approximately 3 to 4 weeks once we get the approval of AEP to do the boring and connect to the transformer at Gutierrez Early Childhood Pavilion. And also we're working with installation on a separate code for data and communication for those 2 buildings, and of course the final board location depending on the AEP approval. Again, this contract, the notice to proceed for this contract was January 2018, and we had approximately 120 calendar days to complete. So hopefully between 3 to 4 weeks, this project will be completed once we get the approval to connect to the main transformer there at Early Childhood Pavilion.
Okay, perfect.
So that's what I have as far as the RCR Early Childhood Pavilion HVAC improvements. As far as the Carlos Truan High School parking lot improvements, we began advertisement March 27th. It came on monitor in April 3rd. It came on the monitor as part of the advertising procurement process. We received proposals this Monday, April 16 at 2 p.m. We received a total of 9 proposals, where 1 proposal was late and it was rejected once it was received. So we have a total of 8 proposals right now. Once we have the evaluation committee, probably within a couple of days or early next week, we should select the most qualified contractor and bring it back to the board for approval. Again, this is a proposal, and we're gonna go through the selection criteria for this project. So this is what I have as far as Carlos Truan Junior High School, and the main goal, of course, is to start the project once school ends.
That's what I was gonna ask. What's the projected date on the Truan project? Are we gonna be able to complete it over the summer, or?
Well, we plan, if everything, if all the proposals are completed and we have a chosen contractor, we can start the project, I'm thinking early June. Once the school ends, and the project is gonna take 90 days, probably 90 days to complete. So we're looking at finishing at the beginning, right of the school year, of next school year.
What's our budget for this project?
The budget for this project was $350,000.
And
$350,000.
what does it encompass? Just a parking lot or right there by the gymnasium?
It encompasses the parking lot. It encompasses the bus drop-off, which is a concrete section, a circular concrete section right south of the parking lot, and it encompasses the overlay of the half moon at the entrance from mile 17 north. There's a half section where also they use it as a drop-off and pick up. Also, that entails that overlay.
What about immediately east of the gymnasium? Is that also going to get an overlay?
East of the gymnasium. I'm not sure if that's part of the concrete.
East of the gymnasium, all technically we're gonna do, well, and the reason I'm kind of stupid is we're, in the facilities committee, we kind of went over, the only thing we're doing in the east side of the gymnasium is, or not actually the gymnasium, but the school, is the entryway, and then we're gonna, the moon, well, half moon, I guess, where the bus drop off is concrete, cement.
Apparently the parent pickup and drop off is right by.
Correct. There's gonna be an overlay, right, that is an overlay.
But the flow of the cars needs to be corrected.
Well, but yeah, but that's not.
You're just talking about overlaying it?
That's a different item. But what we're discussing right now is just gonna be an overlay.
Well, so no drainage. You're not gonna address the drainage there.
The semicircular section is gonna be an overlay. The parking lot is gonna be a reconstruction, and of course the bus drop off or the trash pickup also area is going to be concrete. So it's going to be a full reconstruction, except for the semicircular, which is the half moon entrance off of mile 17. And we're adding an inlet and extension of pipe at the entrance just for drainage, and we're keeping the same units throughout the parking lot.
It's because right next to the gym, it's weed.
Yeah, it's really bad towards the back.
Yeah, that's where all the parents go through right now to go pick up their kids. And
you don't have a rendering by any chance?
The rendering, I have plans, of course.
But you have the blueprints?
I have the plans.
Can you guys, since you're already doing that, figure out a way on how to send the water towards the retention pond? Right there in that area, because that's why it's like that, because the water is just sitting there.
What's ponding right there?
Right, and we're trying to capture some of that water at the entrance from mile 17, the driveway that you have towards the east, which goes into also to the football stadium. We're going to add it in there to capture some of the water that goes in from mile 17. So we won't have that excess water from mile 17 going into the parking lot, just the actual rain of that drops in the actual school.
I don't know about the parking lot, because I don't work there, but I do pick up my kid there, and I can tell you as a parent, that area is beat up, and it should have been addressed.
East of the gym?
Yeah.
We're discussing in the facilities meeting.
Well, I think we're gonna set one up for Friday, right?
We have one scheduled, for this week.
Yeah, because it seems we need to iron this out.
Okay.
Because if you're gonna have the crews out there already,
Yeah.
it only makes sense.
Yeah.
But there is ponding there in that section, that's why.
Okay, yeah, we'll discuss it.
Take a look at it, Mr. Salinas, okay, please. And we've also talked to Mr. Salinas on the issue of the problem that we have dropping off and picking up students at Truan on mile 17, Jonathan, we talked about it to some extent. We do need to get together probably at a facilities meeting and see how we can find an alternate way, maybe working with city. I know city is looking at open up a road street out there on the west side of the campus of our school. So we do need to address that as well. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Essential plans.
Item D,
Essential plans.
presentation of STEM Academy proposal for Truan Junior High.
Yes, Mr. President, I asked Dr. Rios, if he didn't mind, to come up and to do a short presentation. This is a review or a presentation he did at our last board meeting. He wanted to give you an update on the STEM Academy for the junior high. Wanted to talk to you all again so that we can try to get this program going. There is actually a packet in front of you. I believe it's it's like an aqua colored, teal colored folder. His PowerPoint proposal is there in there for you to review.
Good evening, Mr. Barco, Board President, Board members, Mr. Cavazos, Superintendent, colleagues. I come before you with a budget update on the Carlos F. Ruan STEM Academy proposal. The last board meeting that we had, we wanted a breakdown of the budget as to how it was going to look overall and what other expenses were going to be incurred. What you have before you is on the first page, the expense summary by programs and by year 1, year 2, and so forth. You have the cost for the Region 1 project-based learning training, which is $21,500. Then we added the computers that we looked into as well. I believe it's 30 computers. And then we also have the additional teachers for the teaming concept that we will be beginning on for our 6th grade level. So we proposed the 2 teachers that we will be needing. On the next page, you have year 1 STEM Academy budget. You have what's broken down by what the 6th grade teachers will be doing as far as the programs that are concerned, as far as the cost for the program, the training expenses, the dates that there will be training or attending training, and the lodging expenses. And that is for the math teachers, 1 from each team that will be attending the design and modeling training on those specific dates. And then it's broken down by program itself. The 1 team will be doing automation and robotics. 2nd team will be doing computer science for innovators. And the 3rd team will be doing the medical detectives. And the costs are presented there. As the teachers are working on this Project Lead the Way, the trainings, our other teachers will be receiving the project-based learning for 7th and 8th grade teachers. And it is the cost for the first year. Moving on to the next year, our 6th grade teachers will be working on the project-based learning, and also the items that are there are the consumables that we need to purchase for 6th grade to continue working on their STEM Academy. And then we have the proposal for 7th grade teachers, breaking down those by teams and looking at the expenses. First semester, our 7th graders will be working on app creators. Expenses are presented there, and then on the next items we have the science teachers also attending the specific trainings based on what we have for our 7th graders, the automation and robotics, computer science for innovators, and the medical detectives. Okay, and then the bottom we also have the total amount. So while our 7th grade teachers will be working on the STEM curriculum, Project Lead the Way, our 6th graders will be receiving the training for project-based learning, and we'll have a follow-up throughout the year on the training that needs to take place. Looking at the next page, we have year 3. We have our 6th and 7th grade teachers working on project-based learning, along with purchasing the consumables that we need for the program, while our 8th grade teacher will start the STEM Academy and broken down by programs and expenses there as well. Moving on to the 4th page, we have year 4. By that time, if you all recall the presentation, we would have the junior high as a full STEM Academy, and all we have to purchase by year 4th are the consumables and continue with the programs themselves. And that is the presentation that I have for you all on the update. The very last page are items, the consumables that are being called for these programs, and they're specific to each of the programs that we'll be requesting to implement, and the breakdown and the items are there for your review.
Perfect. These numbers are a little bit more.
Well, real quickly, if you don't mind, I just wanted to interject, just so that everybody understands. The first two items, Project Lead the Way and the Region 1 Project-Based Learning Program, those are the two mandatory programs. The other two, the computers and additional teachers are optional. You'll notice that we're, for the computers, year one is $36,000. That's something that we're asking for, and we'd like to fund. But just so that you understand, the two that we really need to fund and look at trying to implement are the first two, the training programs. That's the training component. What I did tell Dr. Rios is that he does need additional staff. He's got some overcrowding in some of his grade levels. And so the teachers that you see there, that is a recurring cost, and that's the way we identify that. We're not actually adding 2 teachers every year. We're just saying that next year we'd like to have at least 2 additional teachers to help him with English language arts, and those 2 teachers would stay there each year. We'd have that extra staffing at his campus.
I have a question, Doctor. Grant opportunities. There's nothing out there that we can go after to apply?
I know that's one of the items that came up last board meeting as well, and I believe the response to that was that we would probably have to look at what's available to be able to fund these programs. Okay. But I have not specifically looked at any grants at this time, but that's certainly an option that we can look for review.
Yeah, that's one thing I really want to emphasize. And district-wide is applying for more grants. That's very important, and it can help us get more and give more back to our students. So,
in year 4, why isn't there any cost for the teachers in the front sheet?
Year four, because we should have all our staff already in place, and we're just purchasing the consumables for the different programs that we have. That's why the cost is drastically very low compared to the other years.
Because
you basically need 6 teachers at the end of it.
Well, we're looking at the first, for next year, we're looking at least 2.
For the
so,
first.
Exactly, because we're starting the teaming concept at the junior high. And then another 2 the following year and so forth. Yes, sir, in order for us to continue with
the it would have to be budgeted in.
But this isn't like a recurring cost? I mean,
yeah,
the teacher's not going to go away.
So you're saying there's only going to be 2 the whole time?
No.
There's going to be 2, 4, 6.
And when the next grade level comes up.
2 more.
Right.
2 more?
So then, year 2, you're not at 88,000 then, no?
Well, that's what that costs. Well,
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You carry those 88 from the prior year, so it goes
so it's
to
an
whatever,
additional cost, yes.
172,000.
Yeah.
Then the following year, it's not 172 anymore.
Yeah, it's difficult for the doctor to predict what type of pay increases are going to.
We're just giving a proposal as to what
I guess that's the only part that I'm not sure, because then you're saying in year 4 you're 0 cost when it comes to teachers.
Yeah, so it's you're not hiring any more teachers. You're done with your 6.
But couldn't we do that through attrition when we start eliminating from other campuses that don't even need anymore that can go and be pushed into here?
I'm not convinced of the numbers still. For some reason, it just doesn't drive you.
Well, I think they're a lot better than
They are a lot better, but I'm still wondering, there's got to be a reoccurring cost for the teachers. And we got to really budget for that, because, I mean, we're looking at forecasting things out there, and if we don't catch this, that's all of a sudden could be a $300,000 mistake. I mean, it's okay if we know now and just fix it now. If it's going to be every year, those 2 plus 2, then it goes to 172 or whatever it is. Then the following year it goes to 400,000. At least we know that. I don't want to get us caught.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want us to get caught with all of a sudden saying, well, we didn't budget for this.
Well, what's the ratio from student to teacher right now?
I'm sorry, sir?
What's the ratio?
Right now we have up to 30 in one classroom, sir.
31 per classroom?
Yes, at least 30 in a classroom.
Are these 2 additional teachers really necessary?
Well, if we're starting our teaming in 6th grade, I'm missing 2 teachers, yes, sir, in order for me to complete the 3 teams.
2 teachers.
Yeah, because basically what we're saying is by year 4, you're going to have all your teachers complete. So there'll be a total of 8 teachers. So that's a $352,000. You should be budgeting in year 4, 352 just to cover just the teacher cost. Maybe none of the other consumables were going to be repeated, but.
We're presenting this because at the last board meeting, I think there was a concern as to what actually will be the cost overall that we'll be looking at. But that's the proposal that we have in front.
I really, really want this, but finance comes first. You know what I mean? And the budget has to be right. I love the whole.
We just spent $350 on a parking lot, so I don't think finance is really the question here. I think it's we need to find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, we got to make sure we budget correctly. Just
well, if that's the case, I'm ready to vote for this. Then.
Yeah, the district needs to get its game going, because
I mean, I've been wanting to push robotics and all of the other stuff that's on computer science, the drafting, I mean, all that is something we need, that other districts are getting ahead of the game with us, and we need to compete, and we need to give these kids the best opportunity.
No, I think it's a great idea. We just gotta make sure the numbers match, because if not,
You know, it's about vigilance, huh? You know,
Yeah.
we need to just keep our eye on this,
Yeah.
make sure it works. And
we'll have to be a little frugal on other
Yeah.
areas
In
in the
order for
budget.
I think the idea is
district to be
that-
successful, we need to make sure we look attractive.
One of the things
By
we-
these programs, I think that's.
again, I think it's a great idea. We just gotta make sure that going forward, the first year is not a concern. It's the second, third, fourth that we.
Well, we never know as far as, in a certain grade level, we might have to move a teacher, we have to, you know, that would take the spot of one of those individuals.
And here's another
Somebody's
idea.
already in-house.
Well, here's another idea. You know, we do and spend this money here and invest in all this program. In high school, what? They're gonna, all this program's gonna be gone when they get to high school.
Well, the thing is,
High school's gonna need to continue this.
Well, that's why they're
You know?
starting, that's why they're starting in year 1 and 6, and then go 7, 8.
No, but financially, it's gonna have to be plugged into the high school, and it'll be something that we'd have to do also. But then we'd have to understand that we'd have to make, if we would wanna make that investment, because eventually, it's year 4, but year 5, that's a freshman year already. And that's when they're going into high school, and we'd have to budget for that as well.
We need to approve,
Yeah, that's what I was
They already have a
saying.
step program.
The step program's already,
They have computer science, they have engineering, those actually align. The only one they would need to work on is the biomedical.
Oh, okay.
What we're trying to do is make sure, you know.
Thank
that
you,
we're expanding
Ms. Garcia.
right.
It's a junior high.
And
No,
that's what
okay.
we're
I think the idea is to try to align the programs from the middle school to the high school.
yeah.
We need to look at staffing, and we need to look at FTEs.
Yeah, just we need to be able to forecast the future as far as the cost in the future, so that, you know, we can prevent that, you know, it being a surprise. Our past showed us that the surprises killed us. That's all I'm looking at, is no surprises in the future.
So is the concern right now is the forecasting of the teachers, other than?
We're just making sure whatever carry costs, if it's,
Right.
all of a sudden it's no longer 21, it's 21 plus 21, okay, put it there. If it's 88 plus 88, okay, but that way we know in the future, we're growing, so we need to understand, because if not, this gives a conception, hey, in 4 years, we're at even money, no big deal, we're good, we're fine.
But as far as the other breakdown of the
That's a
budget
good
for the
point.
programs
Yeah,
by
no,
grade level?
yeah,
That's a real good point.
So how soon do we need to approve this so we can have?
Well,
it
year 1, we can approve year 1 already.
No, actually, it's a presentation.
It's for discussion for right now.
Okay.
But we can bring it up to the next board meeting, bring it up for approval.
Okay.
But the idea right now is to give Dr. Rios an opportunity to present it again. I know you all had a lot of questions, so I
that's
was hoping
perfect.
that
It's
he
an
could kind of clear that up.
Give you enough time to get it going next board meeting, maybe?
Yes, sir. Because we need to start working with our 5th grade students and parents, and then introducing them into the concept that we're gonna be having at the STEM Academy, no longer junior high, STEM
We gotta
Academy.
make sure we market this real aggressively.
We need to approve it and then be very vigilant as far as our numbers are concerned. So, for the next meeting, let's say we take care of this, okay?
Expect some long budget workshop.
Yeah. Thank you, thank you, Dr. Rios.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Chairman.
Killing it today.
Okay. Item C, presentation, discussion on summer program and online registration system.
Good evening,
Ms.
President
Garcia.
Barco, members of the board, Superintendent Cavazos. In front of you, I think on the right side, you should have a packet, summer school packet.
Try inside this one.
It's a clear, with a clear cover.
Has a clear cover. If you pull up the first page has a listing of all of the summer school programs and the cost for each one. We have the bilingual ESL education summer program, which is required. That is for pre-KK. That program will be the only one that will be running Monday through Friday, because we need to have 120 hours, and they don't want to go into July. The elementary summer school program for grades 3 through 5 will run Monday through Thursday, June 11th through 28th. And there you have the listing of the campuses, the number of students, the funding source, and then the total amount. We also have our special ed inclusion support that will be, Mrs. Flores will be hiring a teacher for each of the summer school programs, and that'll be paid through special ed funds. Along with that, she will also be funding the extended school year program for elementary and secondary.
Where does this compare to last year's summer school program? What's the major difference?
If you look here on the bottom, I went ahead and did a comparison. I was expecting that question. Okay, if you look at, for this year, it's 483,000. Last year, the total allotted was 416,112. We do have some new programs that we're doing this year. We are offering enrichment camps for fourth grade, and that'll be a 2-week program, and also an enrichment camp for grade 6 and 7. And they're going to be focusing on STEAM, STEAM activities. We also have a required summer bridge program for the early college high school. That is a 1-week program. The kids that are coming into the early college high school, the incoming freshmen, have to go through that 1-week program. And then our high school will also be doing an advancement program. It will be offering some courses for kids that want to get ahead. So we're looking at offering 1 or 2 courses for now geometry, and then they're discussing what other course they want to offer. So if you look at the comparison, last year it was 416,000. If you look at the new programs we added, right at the bottom, the other difference has to do with we're adding more teachers. We're adding a dyslexia teacher. We also increased the stipend, the wages for the staff, and then we increased the hours. So that is why there is a difference between last year and this year.
So my question would be then, let me rephrase my question. It's not because we increase the cost, we're providing more services, right?
Right, we're offering more services.
I just want to make sure that the amount of children that the program's available to is met. Because, I mean, I remember growing up, you know, all of a sudden, you know, we have to have enough slots for the kids. If we have 100 kids and we only have slots for 80, we got to find 100 slots. Now, I understand if we have 100 slots and we only have 80, well, then we only need 80. But I want to make sure that every kid is afforded the opportunity that needs to go, because it's summer school is for those kids that need it to go.
Yeah, and we're going to prioritize, for example, in the elementary, we have to prioritize 5th grade because that's required. In the junior high, we have to prioritize 8th grade because that's required.
Question on the enrichment programs for the elementary, those are open to who?
It's going to be, if you look on page, let me see.
4th grade. But is it open to just the summer school students or to all students?
No, if you look
asking, right?
if you look on page 9 of the booklet, what I did is I gave you a description for each of the programs, the goals, the criteria. The criteria for the enrichment camp for grade 4 is students will be recommended for the enrichment camp if they meet one of the following criteria. Mastered all their classes, so they passed all their classes. They're in the 4th or 5th quintile on the STAR benchmarks, or they're an ELL student. So those are the 3 criteria areas that we're looking at.
Great. I like that too.
Okay. And the junior high one also has one. The junior high will be doing theirs in July 30th to August the 3rd, Monday through Friday. And they're also going to be focusing on STEAM. So there's a description of that one on page 12. And they're also gearing it to the same students, same criteria.
That's the stigma, is that summer school is for the kids that need it. Well, you know what? I like this avenue that we're taking here for the kids that want to grow over the summer, not just sit around.
And with the new accountability, we have to focus on all students, not only the kids that are struggling, but also our top students.
Now, we are going to advertise for this, since this is something new we are doing for the district. I know that a lot of our parents are not going to be aware of these new, what is it that we're going to be doing to advertise for this?
We'll have a summer flyer. So that we can advertise this.
Maybe have some parent meetings or something to...
We're going to put together a summer school flyer. The flyer will be distributed to all the students and the parents. We'll outline all the summer programs.
Online webpage as well.
Yeah, so we do need to publicize everything new that we're doing so that we could try to retain some of our students, and that is the reason why we're pushing for the STEM program at the junior high. And we'll go ahead and adjust the budget on that one. So if you look at the booklet.
What's to keep a kid from meeting the criteria, coming in over the summer for the enrichment program, and then enrolling somewhere else?
And
Okay.
I don't see that happening, but.
It's hard.
I think if we show the student that that's something we're gonna, I know, Mr. Peña
It's only
suggested,
open to students of Edcouch-Elsa.
yes, it's only open for students of Edcouch-Elsa.
You know.
And that will help us also start our STEAM program at the elementaries, which is something that Mr. Peña was suggesting at the last meeting.
Correct.
So we do want to extend it, start it at elementary and then continue in junior high and then, of course, the high school.
Keeping them in the summer, the longer we keep them, the more likely they will stay with us. The retention's better. So, you know, the longer they're away from us, that means other schools like the charter schools are out there marketing them. So I think the summer program is a great idea as far as marketing and retention of kids. Thank you.
And we're saving some money because at the elementary, the teachers are putting the curriculum together, the GT teachers. We're gonna be purchasing some material that they need, but they're real excited about creating the program for the kids.
Okay, and have we already decided where these classes are going to be held, or?
Yes, if you look at for example, on page 4, we have the description for the pre-K kinder program that'll be held at JRG.
Is this the same place where we're going to be having summer school, or is it different?
You're talking about the camp?
Yeah, the camps.
Yeah. The camp is going to be held at RCR, yes. They're going to have
summer
additional
school?
classrooms, but they're going to be a different wing for the enrichment camp.
But summer school and the camps are going to
Yes.
be in the same location?
Yes, but different wings.
How is traffic going to be?
We can look at that. We'll make,
Yeah.
see if we can,
I'm
if
just
we can
worried
house all the
about
students.
the amount of parents coming in. I'm just saying, because we're going to have congestion.
If we need to move it, we'll move it to another campus. That's not an issue.
Okay. I know
Since we were doing
have-
summer school there,
We should be?
Yeah, because your summer school program is about 100 per grade level.
Yeah,
give or
sure.
take. And then the campus is going to be a total of 60 students. So it would be less than what's currently enrolled at any given campus. So we should be
Okay.
Ms.
All right.
Rocha, we should consider on marketing some of this stuff, because it's pretty neat.
If I may, we're doing a big, for the 5th graders going forward to 6th grade, because those are the ones ideas tackling. We have a plan where we're going to bring like the Elsa schools one night, and we're going to present this program once we adopt the STEAM program that we're doing, the one that Mr. And we're going to have a presentation on all the curriculum and academics, and we're also going to have our band, our cheerleaders, all the extracurricular there. So we're planning to bring all the parents, but divided in 2 nights. Mr. Rodriguez and myself, we decided to bring 2. So we'll be bringing the students and the parents to the one, and we'll be addressing every innovative program that we're doing and all. And most importantly, the message that we care, that we're here to invest in our students, and that together, doing all these things that we're doing here, we're going to be doing it. And everything that is here, once it's been approved, we're going to market it via newspaper, the marquees, all social media, sending flyers home. We need to really get our parents excited. All the assemblies that we're having, the awards, the concerts, all of this is going to be given out to our parents. We're going to really market for the students.
Can I say something real quick? I mean, and that's great, and I love what the marketing committee is doing and what they do. But guys, let's not kid ourselves. The proof is in the pudding. If we're not providing these, if we're not providing these type of concept of programs, and we're not aggressively tackling these programs, then it don't make a difference. Because you know, you could sweep your sidewalk, but your house is trashed. You know, and let's be honest here. We've got to take these innovative programs, and we've got to produce. We've got to. And again, I don't want to come off like that, but listen, guys, we're making an investment in these programs, and we're making an investment in this program. Please, let's tackle it. Let's get out there. Let's be aggressive with our students, and let's hold them to a different standard. Because you can market all you want, but if we don't have it, and we're not producing it, then guess what? They're not going to come here. You know, some of the best companies in America don't have to market. You know, I've never seen a commercial for Rolls Royce or Bentley or Rolex. I mean, you don't see them because you know what? The proof is in the pudding. You know what you're going to get when you get there. And that's what Edcouch-Elsa, that's where we need to be. We need to be to where the parents don't question, is my kid going to go to the other school? No, they're coming here because this is where it's at. And that's what I want to get at. I want to make sure that these programs are accepted and produced.
And the reason I was asking on these STEM or STEAM-based camps, I'm just thinking of the enrichment camps on what some of the lessons and activities, are they going to require them to use computers? You know, classrooms have 3, 4. They have labs, but some kids are going to be using them. So we're going to be kind of fighting over who's going to do what time. So, you know, we do have a brand new technology, you know.
Well, the technology, we're going to be doing the curriculum writing at the technology center.
Yeah.
So you have the curriculum for this enrichment camp already? Do you know what they're going to do?
Yeah, the teachers are starting to work on it. They're starting to make an inventory of the supplies that they want.
That's what you want to ask, right?
And
well, yeah.
everything they're going
I mean, I'm just saying because I'm trying to think of, you know, what are the activities these students are going to be doing, and if they're going to be requiring some type of lab, even if it's 12 kids, you're talking about, all right, we're going to research. Well, we have 3 computers. How much are we going to be providing our students?
We can move it to another campus.
That's just my concern.
That's not an issue, moving it to another campus.
So
we'll just work with Martin to make sure.
If we just look at that, just plan ahead. I just don't, my concern was
we want it to be successful.
Yes.
We want to make sure it's successful.
If we provide something, I want to provide something that's going to leave a good taste in their mouth, and that way, next year, they're looking forward to it. Because I want to do this again, because my child loved it, and I want to bring my fourth grader.
We can do it at LBJ so that idea can see.
Yeah, I remember we had the JACO summer deal when I was in high school. JTPA. And man, I learned how to sew and make a cake in there. JACO. And it was cool. I mean, I was like a freshman or something like that, and I'll never forget it.
Unfortunately, they did away with that program, but I know they're starting to bring some of those programs
They're trying to bring them back.
Yeah, that was a good program.
We'll be looking at those grants.
Okay.
The rest of the again, if you look at the booklet, it describes all the programs. We also have the applications in here, the letters to the parents, the procedures that will be followed, and at the very end. There's an itemized budget. Any additional questions on something?
One last item. I did want Mrs. Garcia to touch on online. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted her to touch on online registration. I know when I came in, y'all had asked about that.
Ms. Garcia, I think UTRGV also helps in the summer programs. They'll help.
Okay.
Yeah, you can ask for help at UTRG. They have students that will come and help run some of these programs and contribute to some of these programs at no cost.
Okay, we'll look at that.
Just an
and
idea.
we also have some NHS students at the high school that need to do community hours, so we'll take advantage of them as well. For the online registration, if you look, you have a burgundy folder. The online registration has been opened. The link has been opened, and if you go to our website, you can see a little picture. I went ahead and gave you the directions. These are the directions we're going to be posting on the website for the parents in case they're struggling. It has pictures that will guide them through the process. But it is open, and the high school had their parent meeting yesterday, showing the parents that needed the help to go by, and they showed them step by step how to register. The junior high will be having their meeting next week.
And is this online registration, Ms. Garcia, open for all grade levels, or just?
It's only open, unfortunately, for junior high and high school.
Okay. That's
next
fine.
year, we are looking at doing a district wide.
Okay. You know what we should do? We should do like enroll right now and get a free shirt.
Right? Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Thank you.
Actually, it works.
It works. Yeah, it'll work. We were doing that when we had the parent portal night.
I can hit up, try to get some sponsorship.
It does work.
You stay focused, guys.
No, it actually, you give them a little something, they kind of want to do it early.
If you look on this page, it has a total number of parents. Currently, they have a parent portal. The parents do have to have a parent portal in order to register online. So the high school has more than half of their students parents do have a parent portal, and the junior high has 327. So they are working on it. I know as parents come in, they're asking them if they have a parent portal or not, and then they're guiding them through the process. It also has a timeline as far as what we've done and what we will be doing for the rest of this semester. Unfortunately, there are some forms that are not available online that we do require, that are needed by the district. For next year, Region 1 will be placing these in the online registration, but unfortunately this year they could not. So the parents will be getting a packet. There's 4 forms that we're going to ask them to complete and then send back to their campus. So it has a flyer explaining that we do have online registration going on. Dr. Ochoa will be providing a clinic, one in April and one in May, because we do have quite a bit of kids that do need vaccines. And then the 4 forms are attached to the packet. So there's only 4 forms that will be required to be filled out. Unfortunately, we could not get them online.
Yeah. Now, Ms. Garcia, these are also, can they be able to be downloaded from the webpage? Because you know what's going to happen, half the kids are not going to remember or...
That's a good idea. I'll ask Mr.
Yeah,
Flores,
just so that they can download just in case.
to go ahead and put them online as well. Any other questions?
I'm good.
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Item 9, discussion and action items. A, request for approval to solicit RFQs for district financial auditor services.
Yes, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President, I'm asking the board to approve or to give us approval to go out with RFQs for a annual district financial auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item B, discussion, possible action to approve 2018-19 school calendar. Mr. Cavazos.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. In your packet, we gave you the results from the staff elections for calendar. There were 2 options presented to the staff. The staff chose to go with option 2. That's in your binder, in your packet. We're asking that you approve that calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and second to approve the 2018-19 school calendar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item C, discussion and action item on approval of the interlocal cooperation contract between the EISD and the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley to conduct a Migrant University Summer Experience MUSE project.
Is Ms.
Mr.
Borrego
Ramos.
here? Ms.
No,
Borrego?
she's out of town. She's out
Out of
today.
town.
Yeah.
This is a really good program. I'm glad you all are bringing it back. Really
Yes, sir.
good. My sister went to this, and it's really, really nice what she learned there.
Good. Well, in keeping with that and going above and beyond,
Nano.
tonight we're bringing
Nano.
that.
Take it easy, buddy. I'm telling you right now.
Sorry, Mr.
What I mean, my
Ramos. Go
sister
ahead.
went to Muse.
Well, actually, we've actually been having it. Every summer we come up.
I had heard.
What is MUSE stand for?
It's a Migrant University Summer Experience.
They had told me they did away with it.
No, they still have it.
We
Really?
asked for it last year. We got it. We
Oh,
had
good.
It's gotten kind of expensive.
This was
but-
really good.
This year we're asking for 10 students. It is a costly item. It's $5,055 per student. However, it's a great experience for our university going students. They're 11th graders, 10th graders. This program does follow them for a whole year. It gives them the whole university experience. And like you say, as an example, this is something that is worthwhile. You don't have to be the top student. This is somebody that is targeted, that has a need, and that a service we provide to the parents as well.
Second.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Motion is made and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item D, discussion and possible action to approve a new 2018 Nifty Lift TM50 for the maintenance department. Mr. Rodriguez.
Nifty Lift.
It's about time we get a lift.
Yes, sir, it is about time.
We keep raining lifts.
Every month.
There you go. How much is it?
34,950 and.
How high does it go?
50 foot.
So much.
Second.
Motion is made and second to approve a 2018 Nifty Lift TM50.
Was it budgeted, Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All against, motion carries. Thank you.
What do you need?
Nifty.
Okay, it's 8:01. We're now into executive session.
You wouldn't be talking to me.
I told my wife, get the phone and call the ambulance. I told my wife, grab the phone, you might have to call 911.
According to when I check my MD, I'd be dead. It would say you're dead.
Or you're dying.
Yeah, you're dead. Something.
Okay. It's approximately 7 minutes to 9. We're back into open session. Item 11, A, discussion and possible action regarding personnel. Consider appointment, employment, resignation, evaluations, reassignment duties, discipline, dismissal of a public officer or employee. Mr. Cavazos.
Yes, sir. I'd like to have the Board of Trustees approve the recommendations as discussed in executive session.
Slow move. Second.
Motion is made and second to approve item A. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item I, discussion and action regarding approval on superintendent's recommendation to propose termination of continuing probationary contract professional employees.
Again, I'd like to recommend that the Board approve the conversation or the recommendations that were discussed in executive session.
Okay.
So move.
Second. Motion has been made and second to approve item I. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item B, discussion and action regarding consultation with legal counsel regarding A, pending and contemplated litigations, B, settlement offer, C, a matter in which duty of the attorney to Edcouch-Elsa Independent School District under Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code, Texas Government Code 551071.
So moved.
No.
No action.
Recommendation.
No action.
No action on that item.
Okay.
So move.
Need a motion and second to no action. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Item 12, any other action items, Mr. Cavazos? Okay.
No other items.
13, need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion is made and second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All against, motion carries. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.